Hey, this is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and if you're watching this video, that means unfortunately you do have your championship, which is kind of weird to say that there is a week 18 in the regular season, but this is a great start and sit video to help you guys out. So hopefully next year you guys are going to go back to week 17. That way you guys don't have to deal with this craziness of week 18. All right, so let's jump right into this. All right, so I'm going to start off with a different type of video. Normally I do by position every single video, quarterback, running back, wide receivers, tight ends, but I actually kind of wanted to consolidate and put this all into one type of video to kind of make it quick and easy so you guys have one video to watch to get you guys ready for week 18. And then a lot of people played last week in their week 17, which was the championship. Like in my leagues, all of my leagues end in week 17. I did end up winning in the league that I've been in for over 10 years. So thank you everybody, all my teammates for losing for me. I appreciate it. But I did come in first place, which is great. And again, week 18 is a little funny, right? This is the reason why most people probably don't do the last week of the NFL season, because there are some interesting scenarios. There are teams that are not going to be playing their starters. There are players starting to take surgeries to kind of get ready for the next season because their teams are already knocked out of the playoffs. You do have some teams that are going to fight and have playoff positioning, playoff seeding, different kind of stuff that's going on. So there are still some teams that are going to be playing, but it does make it a lot more challenging. Now, I've also seen a lot of people do those 2-week type of playoffs where 2 weeks combined will actually end up being the victor. And those are kind of fun to kind of really, instead of that one lucky week for somebody, it's kind of like 2 weeks of your solid performance from your team. But again, like most in the community, do not play week 18 in the championship. But if you guys are, I'm here to help you guys get your lineups right and hopefully get you right into this. So I'm going to start off with the quarterbacks. These are your obvious starts for the quarterback position that are going to be playing. Again, if you need to, just always ask us in the comments as well, or of course in Twitter and Instagram, because sometimes these players may not end up playing. But as of right now, from all news outlets, everything I follow, these guys are playing and should be starting absolutely for you. Now, as far as the good start that I have going into this weekend, it's going to be Tyler Huntley going against the Steelers. There is some playoff ramifications in this one, so it's very important. Steelers are allowing 233 yards, which is 18th in the NFL. They're also allowing 19.1 points to the quarterback, which is 26th in the NFL. And Tyler Huntley's look really good. I do see this as a game that there's a chance maybe Lamar plays, but I don't think he will. He has been in do not practice all week. And Huntley's done a really good job actually filling in. But I do like this one as a good start. Now, another quarterback I have as a good start is going to be Derek Carr. Derek Carr is going against the Chargers. This is an interesting game, because if the Colts lose, there's a possibility the Chargers and Raiders decide to just tie to get both in the playoffs. If, obviously, Colts win, then both the Raiders and the Chargers have a lot on the line right now. So that's why I believe Derek Carr's going to be a good start. Obviously, going to start Justin Herbert if you have him as well. But the Chargers are allowing 261 yards, which is 27th in the NFL. They're also allowing 20.1 points, which is 29th in the NFL. Now, another quarterback I have as a good start is going to be Carson Wentz. Again, this is a playoff ramification here. You've got the Colts who absolutely need to win to get into the playoffs. They cannot afford losing to the Jaguars. Jaguars are allowing 207 yards, which is only 9th in the NFL, but they allow a lot of points. 18.7 points to the quarterback position, which is 25th in the NFL. Now, Jaguars are obviously going to try to play spoiler, but I do think Carson Wentz is a good start and actually will end up finishing up with the win. Sorry, Raiders. Sorry, Chargers. Now, as far as some sits go, I'd sit Tua against the Patriots. Look, I understand the Dolphins obviously really don't have a lot to play for, but Tua is expected to play. Dolphins are going against a tough matchup in the Patriots, who are only allowing 160 yards, which is first in the NFL. They're also only allowing 11.9 points, which is third in the NFL. So it's a really tough matchup, and Tua does struggle against teams that do a really good job in the passing defense side. So I don't like Tua this week. Another quarterback I don't like this week is going to be Mac Jones. Again, against the Dolphins. Dolphins are only allowing 180 yards, which is fourth in the NFL. They're also only allowing 10.8 points, which is first in the NFL. So it's a really tough matchup. Dolphins absolutely will go after him. I just think this will be a tough one for both Mac Jones and Tua. So I do not trust either one of them. Another quarterback I don't like this week is going to be Matt Ryan against the Saints. Matt Ryan can be hot sometimes, but I just don't like the receivers he has. The matchup's really tough. The Saints are only allowing 198 yards, which is 6th in the NFL. They're also only allowing 14.8 points, which is 10th in the NFL. So it's, again, a really tough matchup. I don't trust Matt Ryan this week. Now, as far as quarterbacks go, running backs go, these are your obvious starts for the running back position. These guys should be starting this week. Again, unless something happens where the team decides to sit them, but these guys should be starting and absolutely playing for your roster. Now, as far as a good recommendation on my first start, I have Devonta Freeman against the Steelers. Again, very important game. Steelers are allowing 130 yards to the running back, which is 32nd in the NFL. They're also allowing 31.9 points, which is also 32nd in the NFL. So the matchup is a perfect one for Freeman. And they're going to absolutely need him. And this is going to be a really good game. I'm looking forward to this one. I like both ends. Obviously, again, this could be Ben Roethlisberger's last game. So that's going to be a nice little touch there against Baltimore. Another running back I have as a good start is going to be D'Onta Foreman. Look, Foreman has done a phenomenal job filling in for Derrick Henry. Yes, I know Derrick Henry is practicing. I don't know if he'll actually start this week. I know it's something they've been kind of teasing, but I think they'll actually end up just practicing him and then waiting for the playoffs. They are playing for the 1 seed, so this is an important game. The Texans are allowing 124 yards, which is 31st in the NFL. They're also allowing 29.4 points, which is 31st in the NFL. So the matchup's great. Foreman's done well. He's been phenomenal this past few games against really even tough matchups. So I like him a lot. Another running back I have as a good start, it's going to be Devin Singletary, who actually is someone I picked up for my championship last week and did a phenomenal job and helped me get to the victory. He's going against the Jets, who are allowing 110 yards, which is 26th in the NFL. They're also allowing 24.3 points, which is 23rd in the NFL. And they've been utilizing the running back, and really specifically Devin Singletary. Singletary's looked really good as the RB1 finally that the Buffalo Bills have finally decided to do. They're using one back, and they're actually using him properly. Now, the only downside, and kind of one of the complaints that I had while watching those games last Sunday, is the fact that Josh Allen still is a red zone hog. He either is passing it or running it in himself, so that does affect Singletary, but I still think he's a good matchup. Now, as far as a running back, I would sit. Rex Burkhead's one I'm going to sit against the Titans. I like Burkhead's PPR capability, and he might get you some, maybe 10 to 11 points, but Titans are only allowing 47 yards to the running back position as of late, which is first in the NFL. They're also only allowing 14.4 points, which is first in the NFL. Not a great matchup. I do not like Rex Burkhead this week. Another running back I don't like this week is going to be Nick Chubb. He probably single-handedly lost a lot of people last week on Monday night in their championships. So I apologize for anybody who did start him. It's tough to say to not start him. When he did play, and he had those few little rushes, he did a really good job, especially against the Steelers team, who has been just porous against the run. The Cleveland Browns just did not use him at all. And that's a front office, that's a coaching, that's a whole organization issue. But Nick Chubb against the Bengals this week, Bengals are probably going to sit a lot of their players. I know Burrow's not playing. There's some COVID situations going on. So it's not really a good game. And of course, if you haven't paid attention, Baker Mayfield is going on surgery under the knife, so he is not going to be playing. It's going to be an interesting game. They may even sit Nick Chubb, but if he is playing, I'm not playing him. The Bengals are only allowing 75 yards, which is 8th in the NFL. They're also only allowing 17.9 points, which is 5th in the NFL. So matchup isn't great, and the fact that you're losing some weapons, I don't feel comfortable with that. Another running back I don't like this week is actually going to be Cordero Patterson. He struggled as of late. Going against the Saints, who are actually one of the better run defensives in the league. They're only allowing 97 yards, which is 17th in the NFL, but they're also only allowing 18.7 points, which is 7th in the NFL. So matchup's going to be tough. I do think they'll play a little bit behind. Again, a lot of passing, maybe some PPR might help you a little bit, but I don't like them this week. Now, as far as wide receivers, these are your obvious starts you should be playing this week. Now, Cowboys game is going to be an interesting one. Nobody's been truly announced. They've announced a couple players are not playing, but right now the receivers and Dak are expected to play. So I would put Lamb in there. I don't know about Amari Cooper. I'm not 100% comfortable with that, but I do like, CeeDee Lamb. And they may only play like 2 quarters, so that's another tough challenge when it comes to these type of games, because both Dallas and obviously Philly have locked into the playoffs. Philly's got a lot of COVID situations, so they're not really playing anybody right now. It might be only a half, so just keep an eye on that. Now, as far as some wide receivers I do like as a start, it's going to be Chase Claypool. Yeah, you could put Deontay Johnson here. He is dealing with COVID, and a lot of times players coming right off of COVID, if they've actually had symptoms and situations like that, they've actually been very winded and have struggled their first game back. Second game, third game, all that, they're usually pretty good shape, but the first game they've always struggled. I do like Chase Claypool against the Ravens, who are allowing 207 yards, which is 32nd in the NFL. They're also allowing 44.4 points, which is 31st in the NFL. So the matchup's good. This is, again, very, very big and important game, so I do like Claypool a lot. Another wide receiver I do like this week is going to be Darnell Mooney. Mooney's done a phenomenal job. Andy Dalton should be getting the start with Justin Fields going on COVID, unfortunately, especially after dealing with injuries, so he's missed some games. Vikings are allowing 200 yards to the wide receiver, which is 31st in the NFL. They're also allowing 46.3 points, which is 32nd in the NFL. So the matchup's really good. Not a whole lot to fight for in this game besides just beating your rival, but I do like Darnell Mooney this week. He's done a really good job while Andy Dalton has been in there. Another wide receiver you should be starting this week is going to be DK Metcalf. He actually saved a lot of people last week. He's done a phenomenal job. It really helped a lot of people. And he's one of those off and on, but they're going against the Cardinals, and this is where the Seahawks do want to absolutely play spoiler and kind of help add another loss to the Cardinals. Cardinals are allowing 169 yards, which is 28th in the NFL. They're also allowing 43.1 points to the wide receiver, which is 30th in the NFL. So matchup's really good. They both know each other really well. So I do like DK Metcalf as a good start. Now, as far as a sit goes, I'm sitting Mike Williams this week. He's too touchdown dependent. He's too inconsistent. And again, who knows how this game's going to play out. I do think it's going to be a really big playoff push for both the Chargers and the Raiders. So I do like the matchup. Also, Raiders are only allowing 128 yards to the wide receiver, which is 8th in the NFL. They're also only allowing 26.3 points, which is 6th in the NFL. So it's a tough matchup. Again, too touchdown dependent. I don't like Mike Williams. Another receiver I don't like is going to be Russell Gage. Again, like I mentioned with Matt Ryan, the matchups are tough, right? And sometimes when you deal with these rivalry games, the Saints especially have gotten Atlanta Falcons' number. This is a really tough one. Russell Gage is, not consistent enough. He's just not. And the fact is, there's not a lot of other receivers to kind of help offset some of that. Kyle Pitts has some talent, and I think he's going to get and be probably one of the top tight ends into the future. Right now, he's still struggling with double coverage, getting some of the better safeties covering him and even better linebackers. And the Saints are only allowing 131 yards to the wide receiver, which is 9th in the NFL. They're also only allowing 28.3 points, which is also 9th. So the matchup's tough. I don't like Russell Gage. And the last receiver I don't like this week is going to be DJ Moore. Look, DJ Moore has struggled, and it's not necessarily his fault. A lot of it has to do with the QB play. They've had a carousel of quarterbacks coming in and out. There's a lot of inconsistencies. It makes it challenging for a receiver to kind of get on the same page. And the fact is, Robbie Anderson's so inconsistent. DJ Moore is really the only weapon they've got for Carolina. And they're also going against the Bucs. The Bucs have a lot of issues there themselves, but they've got a little bit better defensively. They're only allowing 155 yards to the wide receiver, which is 19th in the NFL. They're also only allowing 32.8 points, which is 15th in the NFL. So again, matchup's not terrible, but the quarterback play is. So I would not start DJ Moore. Now, the last position I want to talk about is going to be tight end. These are your obvious starts. Now, I did put Gronk in here because I do like his option, especially with the fact that obviously Antonio Brown's gone. They're still dealing with injuries on the outside with Godwin now. Evans should be playing. So Gronk is another good tight end that you should be playing this week. Now, as far as tight ends I like Zach Ertz. Again, as long as he's playing this week, he's been dealing with an injury. Going against Seahawks, who are allowing 63 yards, which is 27th in the NFL. They're also allowing 16.4 points, which is 28th in the NFL. On top of that, Zach Ertz is definitely the highest targeted option for Kyler Murray, and he did a really good job last week. He's been in double digits every single week. He's done a great job at the tight end position, so I do like him a lot. Another tight end I do like, even though he really laid an egg, is I like Dawson Knox going against the Jets. The Jets are allowing 75 yards to the tight end, which is 30th in the NFL. They're also allowing 17.3 points, which is 29th in the NFL. So the matchup's really good. I do see Buffalo wanting to beat the New York Jets. It's again rivalry game. It's important for the Buffalo Bills, especially going into the playoffs. So I do like Dawson Knox a lot. Another tight end I do like this week as well is going to be Dalton Schultz. Schultz has done a phenomenal job. He's really become the number one target, especially when it comes to third downs and some of the red zone action. So again, depending on how much play time the starters get, because you can kind of treat this somewhat of a preseason game depending on how the game goes. But he's going against the Eagles, who are allowing 44 yards, which is 15th in the NFL. They're also allowing 12.9 points, which is 23rd in the NFL. So it's a really good matchup. And again, Dalton Schultz is another guy. Dalton should just be scoring for you guys at least 12 to 15 points. Now, as far as some tight ends I'm going to sit this week, I don't like Mike Gesicki at all. Look, again, tough matchup. I don't trust Tua. And the Patriots have done a phenomenal job against the tight end. They're only allowing 16 yards to the tight end, which is first in the NFL. They're also allowing 5 points. Think of that. 5 points. And this is PPR. Right? So they've done a phenomenal job against the tight end. And Mike Gesicki's not somebody I'm trusting. Another tight end I don't like, it's going to be Tyler Higbee. Again, going against the 49ers. 49ers have done a good job. They're only allowing 33 yards, which is second in the NFL. They're also allowing only 6.3 points, which is second in the NFL. So the matchup's really tough, really challenging. And there's a lot of other weapons for Matt Stafford. So this is not a tight end I feel really comfortable starting. Another tight end I don't feel comfortable is actually going to be Kyle Pitts. Look, he's struggled. He has struggled a lot. He's had some games where he's hit some double digits based off of PPR, but if you're in a standard league, you're not loving Kyle Pitts because you probably drafted him pretty high. So Kyle Pitts going against the Saints, only allowing 43 yards, which is 12th in the NFL. They're also only allowing 10 points, which is 11th. So again, really tough matchup, and I don't like his matchup at all this week. If you have to start him, but I would try to go get something else. So again, if you guys have any questions, these are your lineups that I believe should be some players you're starting, some players you should be sitting. Again, for all particular positions. If you guys do have questions of who you should be starting or sitting, or maybe there's some players that have been announced to be sitting this week and you need to pick up on waivers, again, hit us up in the comments down below. We'll be gladly able to help you guys out, or you can hit us up on Twitter or Instagram. Our links are in the description down below. You can always DM us there. Again, we want to help you guys. If you guys are still playing, we want to make sure you guys are winning this game and getting your championship for the season. That's what we're here for. All right. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys did appreciate what we gave you, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you guys are notified every time we drop a new video. Just because the season's getting ready to end does not mean our videos are stopping. We've got some good stuff coming up, especially getting you ready for obviously the draft, getting you ready for obviously any type of, free agency, all that fun stuff. So we'll keep you updated on all of that. If you guys did enjoy the content, make sure you hit the like button. You guys are greatly appreciated. You guys are awesome. One of the best communities out there. So thank you guys so much. And we'll check you guys next time.